Republicans officially winning enough seats to take control of the House. The Republican majority will be slim, but it will likely be enough to block much of President Biden's agenda. ABC News political director Rick Klein joins me live now, along with ABC's Jay O'Brien on Capitol Hill for more. Jay, Republicans will have a slim majority in the House. Democrats will have a slim majority in the Senate. So what does that mean from a practical standpoint?
Well, for Republicans, it means that Kevin McCarthy, poised to become the next Speaker of the House, has his work cut out for him in terms of wrangling every single member of his House GOP conference. He will likely face opposition on pieces of legislation. He's even facing some opposition to his bid for the speakership from the farther right part of his conference, particularly the House Freedom Caucus. It gives representatives like Marjorie Taylor Greene, for instance, outside power, or outsized power rather, in terms of negotiation. They can hold up votes because of how slim the numbers are for Republicans. It was certainly, as we've been saying now for more than a week, not the red wave that Republicans were expecting. For Democrats, it means that they overperformed and outperformed the expectations that they set for themselves, and it might tee up an announcement today from Speaker Nancy Pelosi about her political future. She said she's going to make a decision as to whether or not she's going to remain in Democratic leadership. Sometime this morning, that announcement is expected, and all of that coming on the heels, obviously, of the House being called last night.
Now, Rick, Democrats may have performed better than expected in the midterms, but it wasn't enough to hold on to the House. So what does this mean for both parties moving forward?
When the dust settles, I don't think it's going to mean much for Democrats to say we didn't do as badly as we thought we would. The math is going to be stubborn, and the fact that Speaker McCarthy will be an almost certain reality in the next Congress means that Democrats are going to have to calibrate their expectations. Keep in mind, even with expanding their majority in the Senate, as you said, it's very close. They're still going to have issues with their own moderates. They're still going to have issues getting towards 60 votes. And anything that they want to get done in the Biden agenda, anything, is going to require bipartisanship in the House. Kevin McCarthy is going to have the ability to effectively block almost anything he wants. He's going to have a hard time keeping his members in line and keeping his conference together. But there's something about being opposed to the president in power that keeps a party unified. That's the new reality that Democrats are waking up to this morning, is that the euphoria of doing better than they thought begins to fade now 9 days after the election. And this is the reality. It's going to be divided government for the remainder of Joe Biden's first term.
Now, Jay, the Senate passed a key test vote on marriage equality, this marriage equality bill yesterday. What's the latest on that?
Well, there's pressure on Senate Democrats and Senate and House Democrats to get that measure through before the new Congress, before that divided government, as Rick had said, takes effect. That was the first key test vote to make the bill filibuster-proof. The question now hanging over the Senate is, will there be that another vote by the Thanksgiving holiday or shortly after the Thanksgiving holiday? It's expected to pass that vote in the Senate, and then if it does, it has to go back to the House, where it already passed in July because there were changes made to religious freedom, to add religious freedom exceptions in the Senate text in order to make it passable in the Senate. It's got to go back to the House, survive that vote, and only then can it go to President Biden's desk.
And Rick, you mentioned bipartisanship. 12 Republican senators voted along with Democrats to pass this test vote. But Majority Leader Chuck Schumer tells ABC that he thinks they would have lost the vote if they held it before the midterms. What's your take on that?
This is one of the most interesting bits of legislative timing that I can recall. Usually, the party in power tries to put the other party in a tough spot, jam them right before the midterms, make them take a tough vote. And then there were members who were worried about infuriating their conservative base, potentially, by voting for the Marriage Equality Act. You see the list of senators. Some of them had previously been against same-sex marriage being legalized. Others are retiring, and this is essentially a free vote. And I think this piece of strategy, delivering for an important constituency, an important constituency of Americans, period, in timing it after the election, appears to have paid off. And there were people questioning it and saying, why not do it before the election, put everyone on the spot? Chuck Schumer's decision was, you know what, I want to actually get this done. He mentioned his own daughter, who herself is married to a woman, and a lot of senators have those kind of personal connections. And if the goal was to actually get things done, sometimes taking the politics out of it is the only way to do it.
Interesting. Rick Klein, Jay O'Brien, thank you both.
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.